In an age of likes and lies, what makes the truth worth the scroll? Misinformation doesn't knock, it kicks down the door. In today's digital cyclone, a post can go global in seconds while the facts lag far behind. Reputations can fracture, trust can evaporate. Narratives get built before the first fact check even finishes loading. As content creators, our influence isn't passive, it's powerful. Whether you're a blogger, vlogger, or just sharing thoughts online, you're shaping how people think. That's no small responsibility. Verification isn't just good practice, it's a form of integrity. It tells your audience you matter. So does the truth, because when trust dies, attention follows. And once you've lost credibility, no caption, filter, or clever hook can restore it.
The risks of misinformation.
We live in the information age, but belief is cheaper than ever. We've all seen it. A sensational headline appears. A provocative claim ignites a wildfire. And before anyone checks the facts, it's shared, commented on, and cemented in public perception. Moments later, it's debunked, but by then, it's too late. The lie spreads like lightning, the correction limps behind, and while the truth whispers, misinformation screams. People don't just read it, they build worldviews around it, and decisions, sometimes irreversible ones, get made in the wreckage.
The consequences of misinformation.
It doesn't stop with a bad headline. Misinformation lingers, wrecking reputations, fracturing trust, and steering decisions into disaster zones. It can stain the credibility you spent years building, shatter the trust your audience once gave freely, and fuel decisions that lead people down dangerous, misinformed paths. One false claim might seem harmless, but when it's believed, acted on, and passed around like gospel, the fallout can be personal, professional, and at scale, even societal.
The importance of verification.
Verification isn't a luxury. It's the firewall between you and regret. In a world where content spreads faster than consequences, verification is more than a step. It's a stance. It's how creators separate signal from noise and intention from impulse. Put simply, it's the act of asking, is this actually true? Before hitting post, for creators, that one question carries weight. It protects three things that no algorithm can fix once broken. Credibility. The moment your audience senses sloppiness, trust evaporates. Integrity. Sharing without checking isn't edgy, it's negligent. Value. Accuracy isn't just respectful, it's what turns noise into meaning. When you verify, you're not just protecting your voice, you're honoring the minds willing to listen.
My approach to verification.
It's easier to retweet than to research, but only one protects your credibility. As someone who creates content regularly, I don't just post, I take pause. I fact check not out of fear, but out of respect. Respect for my audience, respect for the truth, and yes, sometimes, self-respect, because nothing's more embarrassing than being confidently wrong. I never assume, I examine. Before I hit publish, I take a breath and ask, is this verified or just viral? And if that question stings, good. That means matters. Don't settle for what's handed to you. Ask more, learn more, and refuse to let someone else's version be your truth. That's not skepticism, that's stewardship.
Research and fact-checking.
My process isn't flashy, it's focused. Verify the source, cross-check the claim. Rinse, repeat, keep going until the noise fades and only the signal remains. Because truth doesn't come in hot takes. It arrives when the temperature drops and the facts cool everything down. Before I ever hit post, I run every piece of information through this filter. Verify the source. Not all links are created equal. I check the track record, not just the headline. Cross-check the facts. I don't lean. On one site, I look across the spectrum. Independent fact-checkers can help, but I don't blindly trust them. Not all are neutral, not all are honest. I've seen some get it terribly wrong. Cite the receipts when I can. If the source is credible and public, I link it. But not all truth lives online. Some reports never get published. Some witnesses stay silent to protect their families. And some facts are buried too deep for a URL. That doesn't make them less true. It just makes them less safe to surface. Truth isn't always archived. Sometimes it's whispered. Sometimes it's withheld. I don't just consume information. I interrogate it and I weigh it with context, caution, and conscience. Because yes, I'm human. I'll make mistakes, but I won't make them casually. I'll own them, correct them, and keep learning forward.
Transparency and accountability.
Being wrong isn't the problem, pretending you weren't is. In a world where ego often outruns evidence, owning your errors is a quiet kind of rebellion. I believe transparency doesn't make you weaker. It makes you credible and accountability. It's not damage control. It's trust maintenance. So when I get something wrong, and I will, I don't spin it. I face it, own it. Acknowledge the mistake clearly, not quietly. Fix it. I correct the content without burying the correction. Grow from it. Ask what failed, so I don't fail the same way twice. Mistakes don't have to define you, but how you handle them. That's your real content.
Best practices for verification.
Want a reputation that lasts longer than a viral trend? Then turn these habits into your content DNA, because credibility isn't built by being loud. It's built by being right. Here's how I keep the signal clear and the standard high. Check your sources. Don't just trust what's first. Trust what's tested. Reputation matters. Fact check relentlessly. I don't outsource the truth. I cross-reference with credible fact-checkers and platforms that don't play favorites. Cite the receipts. When you drop facts, back them up. Receipts show respect for your audience and the truth. Show your method. Transparency in your process builds confidence in your product. Let people see how the sausage is made, because here's the truth. It's not just my job to verify, it's yours too. So if you're the viewer, the listener, the seeker, do your homework. Don't let a headline become your worldview. Don't just share, inspect. Be the pause in a sea of instant reactions.
What's your take?
What do you believe because it's true? And what do you believe because it's popular? That's not just a rhetorical question. It's a mirror. We've all shared something without checking. We've all nodded along with the crowd. But where does your conviction actually come from? Habit? Headlines? Or hard-earned understanding? So now, the real question. What steps do you take to verify the accuracy of the information you share online? Drop it in the comments, because your method could wake someone up.
The future of content creation.
We're not just making content, we're shaping how people think and what they trust. As creators, our responsibility doesn't end at the upload button. It runs deeper than likes or clicks. It's about truth, accuracy, integrity. Because when you speak, someone listens. When you post, someone believes. That's why verification isn't optional. It's essential. But let's not pretend everyone plays by those rules. Major media outlets, some of the loudest voices in the information space, have been caught time and time again skipping the homework. They publish first, fact-check later. If at all, and when the truth surfaces, the correction whispers where the headline screamed. The narrative sticks, even if the facts don't. Too often, it's not a mistake, it's a pattern. Whether motivated by bias, pressure, or profit, the result is the same. Trust erodes, credibility collapses, and somehow the people responsible remain protected. No accountability, no consequences. And these aren't amateurs in a comment thread. These are paid professionals. And as for so-called fact-checkers, I don't outsource my thinking. I've seen too many get it wrong, whether by omission or design. When narratives are framed to serve one side left or right, they stop being fact-checkers and start being gatekeepers. The lab leak theory is just one example among many that was dismissed, mocked, and then quietly walked back when the facts shifted. So what do? I thread through the noise myself. I don't rely on one outlet, one lens, or one label. I cross-reference. I dig. I watch for contradiction. Because real verification isn't blind trust, it's balanced skepticism. So when I say use credible sources, I don't mean convenient ones. I mean test them, measure their bias, challenge their framing, and if they slip, Hold them to the same standard you'd demand from yourself. Prioritizing accuracy means building trust that doesn't evaporate with your next upload, preventing misinformation before it gets oxygen, providing value that lasts longer than trends. So, what can you do to elevate your voice? Take your time. Don't just post pause. Use sources that earn your trust, not just your agreement. And when you miss something, own it, fix it, learn from it. Because verification isn't bureaucracy. It's respect before you post. Ask yourself, what do I believe because it's true? And what do I believe because it's popular? Your answers shape your voice, and your voice shapes the world. Truth has a shelf life. Don't trust by default, verify by habit. Real growth begins where comfort ends. Thanks for walking this road with me. Stay curious, stay conscious, and above all, stay accountable. What are your thoughts on media bias, fact-checking, and content responsibility? Let's keep the conversation alive in the comments.